May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from. May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from.
Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wa salatu wa salamu ala Sayyidil Mursaleen. Amma ba'd, fa'a'udhu billahi minash shaytanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulallah.
As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Rasulallah.
Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah.
Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Habiballah.
As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Nabiyallah.
As-salatu was-salamu alayka ya Nabiyallah.
Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah.
Wa ala alika wa ashabika ya Nurallah.
Welcome back, viewers of Madani Channel, to one of your favorite programs, Alhamdulillah, Spiritual Cures. Welcome Adil Bhai into the studio today. MashaAllah. Adil Bhai, you well?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ala kulli hal.
So without wasting any further time, inshallah, we will mention a benefit of reciting durood on the best of mankind, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, and then we'll move on to the program, inshallah. The noblest Prophet, sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, said to a person performing salah, followed by the glorification of Allah Azza wa Jalla and the recitation of salat, make dua, a supplication, it will be answered. Ask for it, it will be granted. Sallu ala al-Habib
Sallallahu ala Muhammad
sallallahu alayhi wasallam. We received a request, code name Deen, for an istikhara. So inshallah I'll send that on to the majlis, inshallah, and we will give you the istikhara reply. A little bit about the program. The istikhara replies we give in the last quarter, approximately last quarter of the program, and we also, not to forget, we have the spiritual cure of the day. So
inshallah,
stay tuned and wait for the spiritual cure of the day. A second istikhara, it was code word Abdul Qadir. Code word Abdul Qadir. And it was in regards to an istikhara as well. So inshallah I'll send that on to the majlis, inshallah. Once you get the istikhara reply, do watch out for your code name, inshallah, and your istikhara reply will be mentioned to you. Ji Adil Bhai.
Labbaik Aisa.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Could you please give us a wazaif for migraine? Inshallah. So the first request is of migraine.
Labbaik.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please can I request a ruhani ilaj for toothache? Jazakallah. Ameen.
Inshallah. Ameen.
Toothache, Adil Bhai?
Labbaik Aisa. Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please could you give me a ruhani ilaj for mouth ulcers?
Labbaik.
Like spots inside the mouth, mouth ulcers?
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Could you give us a wazifa or a dua which will help in memorizing the Quran for my child?
Subhanallah.
Subhanallah. Allah Azza wa Jal grant him an increase in his memory, inshallah. Adil Bhai will give us, in fact there's one particular one that's coming to mind, Adil Bhai, which is in regards of memorizing the Holy Quran. Makes it easy, inshallah. So inshallah, you just stay tuned, inshallah. We will, Adil Bhai will get this spiritual cure out for you, inshallah, of memorizing the Quran, inshallah. MashaAllah. Whilst Adil Bhai is taking out the spiritual cures for us, inshallah Azza wa Jal, I will take you to one of our Faizan-e Medina booklets, the monthly magazine, which is released every month. For those of you who haven't already, do book your subscriptions. Now you can do monthly subscriptions and you can also do an annual subscription. And the ease is that they can be delivered directly to your doorstep. Alhamdulillah.
Subhanallah.
So we'll go through some questions which were asked to Darul Ifta Sunnah, Alhamdulillah, whilst we're waiting for Adil Bhai to take these spiritual cures out. So the question, what do the honorable scholars say about this issue? A spot has appeared on my nose which causes me considerable pain. especially when my nasal bone touches the floor when prostrating, like when they're doing sajda, so the nose causes pain. Am I able to prostrate without having to place my nasal bone on the floor? And will my prayer be valid? Also, what is the ruling regarding all the prayers I have offered without touching my nasal bone to the floor? And the answer from the Honorable Mufti Sahab, in regards to your inquiry, if placing the nasal bone on the floor causes difficulty and pain, you may prostrate without it touching the floor. Your prayer will be valid without any issue. All the prayers you have offered in which you did not place your nasal bone on the floor due to pain will also be considered valid. Bear in mind, placing and pressing the nasal bone to the floor is necessary, i.e. it's wajib, when there is no valid reason not to. Without this, your prayer becomes severely disliked, i.e. makruh tahrimi, and it becomes necessary to repeat. Subhanallah. Look how ease there is in our deen, practicing our deen, any pain, and look how the ruling. So look, it's something, the nasal bone touching the floor is wajib, and if you don't touch it without any reason, then the salah that you are reading would become makruh tahrimi, and you need to repeat the salah. And here look how beautiful religion, that because a person is feeling pain by doing that action, then he doesn't have to do it at all, and it doesn't affect his namaz. It looks so beautiful, mashallah.
Regarding migraine, I said somebody was asking for a migraine pain. That's obviously common as well. Quite a lot of pains in the family's runs. So may Allah bless everyone and get rid of these all pains from us. So migraine pain is very beautiful wazifa method of remedy. If somebody has a migraine, recite Surah Ikhlas once with the salat upon the Holy Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, once before and once after, and then perform dam upon it. And if the persons have a pain still, then repeat this dam in this way 3 times, 7 times, or 11 times. Until you reach the 11 times, hopefully the pain will be gone, inshallah.
Subhanallah. What a beautiful wazifa, mashallah. Very easy. Surah Ikhlas, as we know, very famously, Qul huwallahu ahad, i.e. the complete surah. So you recite Durushi once before Dilbai and once after, with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim each time. So, mashallah, very simply, Durood Sharif once before, once after, Surah Ikhlas, the once, perform dam, and ask the person if it's relieved. If he says the pain is still there, he's still in pain, then repeat it 3 times.
3 times.
Then ask again, still in pain, then repeat it 7 times.
7 times.
Ask again, if he's still in pain, then 11 times. And by the time you've done it 11 times, inshallah, migraine gone.
Will be clear, inshallah.
MashaAllah, what a beautiful wazifa.
Subhanallah. Regarding toothache, that's some people have a quite a lot of pain as well with the teeth issues. So it's very beautiful wazifa for them as well. Suratul Quraysh. If someone has toothache, he should recite Surah Quraysh 21 times in the state of wudu and then blow onto the salt. Rub that salt on the painful tooth and place it between the teeth. Do it 2 or 3 times in the day. Inshallah, pain will be relieved. Inshallah.
So toothache, it doesn't matter how old you are, as long as you got teeth, you guys usually have somebody who's suffering from tooth pain. So Surah Quraysh 21 times, Drushi before and after, and then perform dam upon the salt, and then place that pinch of salt.
Yes. Rube and place as well.
Rube and then place as well, mashallah. So, before we move on, mashallah, Jazakallah for that toothache one. We've got a few messages that I just need to, before they start piling up, so if I can start mentioning them. Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I hope you are well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen la kulli hal. And we hope the same for yourself. We hope you are well also.
Subhanallah.
Can you give us a wazifa for eczema and itchiness?
Inshallah.
Eczema and itchiness. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can you give a wazifa for itchy head and scalp? itchy head and scalp. I think maybe it might be dandruff sort of effect. Ji. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah. Can I have a wazifa to be brave? Somebody wants to be brave, Adil Bhai.
Subhanallah. Labbaik, Aisab.
MashaAllah. Can I have a wazifa for bravery? Inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Somebody requesting istikhara for their two children. Mainly they remain unwell. The code name is Rabiul Noor, mashallah. Alhamdulillah. Rabiul Awwal and the Madani name is Rabiul Noor, and here the person has used Rabiul Noor. For those of you who don't understand, I'll just forward this istikhara. So the code name was Rabiul Noor. I'll just forward it on to the majlis, inshallah, so they'll get the istikhara done. Ji. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salam, can I request an istikhara for a cure for my brother and sister-in-law? We do give the istikhara replies in the last quarter or so of the program, but we will mention your code name, and you've given us a code name. The code name is Flower 65. Flower 65. So inshallah we will give you the istikhara reply, but we'll mention your code name first, inshallah, so you'll know that this is the reply for your istikhara. I will forward this on, inshallah, to the majlis who can perform the istikhara in the background, inshallah. Ji Adil Bhai, let you carry on.
Regarding ulcer, sometime obviously we get spot inside the mouth. So it's very beautiful Durood Pak. If somebody has these type of issues, do this amal. Hopefully with that, inshallah, they will get cure. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin tibbil qulubi wa dawaiha wa afiyatil abdani wa shifaiha wa nuril absari wa diyaiha wa ala alihi wa ashabihi wa barik wa sallim. Subhanallah. Write this in a state of a wudu and give it to a patient so that he may lick it, meaning write it down on the paper and try to lick it. If somebody's have an issue or somebody else is have an issue, they can do the same thing. If you can't write it down, then ask someone to write it down for it, because they need to be written properly. Otherwise, obviously, you get issues with that as well. So if you can't obviously write it at all, you can contact with our nearest stall, inshallah, they will do it for you.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So Durood Shifa.
Subhanallah.
Durood Shifa, mashallah. What a beautiful Durood Pak. Alhamdulillah, all Durood Paks are beautiful, mashallah. And alhamdulillah, Adil Bhai is even volunteering. He's saying, come and see us at the Ruhani large stall. And inshallah, we'll write it for you as well if you can't write it. It's difficult. Because remember, there are some rules and regulations in regards to writing taweez. And you need to bear those rules and regulations in mind when you write the taweez. So we don't want to be writing something, and because we've made an error, firstly, it's not going to help us. And secondly, it can, if you wrote, depending on what type of mistake you made, it can have a knock-on or a bad effect. So if you can write yourself, fine, or if you've got somebody in the family who can write it for you, that's fine. If not, then contact your nearest Ruhani large stall, inshallah. I'm sure the brothers will volunteer. Right. Remember, the Ruhani large stalls are running, operating. Alhamdulillah, your Dawah Islami is operating these Ruhani large stalls. We have approximately 35 for the Islamic brothers and 10 for the Islamic sisters, running throughout the UK, all free of cost. And this is your Dawah Islami, alhamdulillah. Remember, these people, these brothers, these sisters, they're giving their time, they're using pens, so they're using ink, they're using paper, and time most importantly, that they're giving their time, alhamdulillah, for you. This is your Dawah Islami. So help and support your Dawah Islami as much as you can. So this particular Durood Shifa, so Adil Bhai mentioned that write it or get it written, and then the person who's suffering with these mouth ulcers to lick the paper where the Durood Pak is written. Now, for any reason, if somebody has any problems or they find that difficult to do, something additional is you can put it into water and drink that water as well, inshallah. That will also be of benefit. Jazakallah for that mouth also.
Ameen. Regarding memory issues, and somebody obviously wants it for their kids to become a Hafiz al-Quran. So Alhamdulillah, it's very beautiful, and niyat is well in that. Anybody can hopefully do it. Allahumma aftah alayna hikmataka wa anshur alayna rahmataka ya dhal jalali wal ikram. Recite this one, or tell the kids to memorize this one, and they can memorize it very easily, inshallah azza wa jal. Whenever they're going to read the Quran Pak, just read before that. Hopefully with that, inshallah azza wa jal, whatever they're going to read it, they will be memorized.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. One benefit of this particular spiritual cure that Adil Bhai has given us, alhamdulillah, any Dawat Islami booklet that you'll open, before you actually get to the actual pages of the book or the booklet, alhamdulillah, you'll find this dua. And it's a very powerful dua to increase your memory. In fact, it's written in these books and booklets, and it's requested that before you actually start reading the book or the booklet that you're reading, or you're going to read, read this dua with Durood Sharif before and after, and inshallah this will help strengthen your memory, and inshallah whatever you read in the book, inshallah you'll remember as well. Subhanallah.
Subhanallah.
So what a beautiful dua there, mashallah, that Adil Bhai has given us. So we'll move on to another question which was asked to Darul Ifta. Correcting the Imam's recitation, i.e. Luqma. Question: what do the honorable scholars say about this issue? An Imam recited Surah Al-Qadr in Isha's first unit of prayer and accidentally left out a verse. One of those participating in the congregation, in the Jamaat, a child who is a Hafiz, prompted the Imam with a Luqma, which the Imam heard and corrected his error. The entire prayer was then completed as normal. My questions are: was this a correct occasion for giving Luqma? Can a child interject like this? The Hafiz in question is 11 years old and performs prayer correctly. And the Honorable Muftiyan Kiram have replied to this. Answer: in this situation, even if the skipping of a verse did not result in any distortion in meaning, it still amounts to a mistake in recitation. Interjecting with a luqma is therefore valid in this situation due to it being scripturally stipulated. The child who gave luqma is sensible and close to the age of puberty. When he performs the actions of the prayer correctly, then there is no negative effect on the prayer whatsoever due to his luqma. The prayer is correct and valid. MashaAllah.
SubhanAllah.
Ji Dil Bhai.
Ji, I said regarding kharish, we call in our language itchiness. So it's very beautiful wazifa as well for them. Recite above verse and perform dam on affected area of a itchiness. So recite this ayat and perform dam wherever you have a problem. But if you can't reach it, then blow on the hand and rub on that area. Hopefully with that, inshallah, itchiness or eczema will be clear, inshallah.
SubhanAllah. So فَكَسَوْنَا الْعِظَامَ لَحْمًا ثُمَّ أَنْشَأْنَا خَلْقًا آخَرَ فَتَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. So recite this particular verse, Durood Sharif before and after, and perform dam upon the area of itchiness, inshallah, and inshallah it will be relieved.
Will be clear, inshallah.
SubhanAllah, mashallah. So this can be anywhere on the body.
Anywhere in the body.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah Bhai. Ji. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, hope all is well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen la kulli hal. We hope that you're well too. Can you please do istikhara for my son and give me a wazaif? I can read, okay, TK. Code name Madani 22. Madani 22. I'll forward this on, inshallah azza wa jal. Your code name will be mentioned. Inshallah, we will give you a wazifa for it as well. I'll send it on to the majlis. Once the istikhara is done and the result comes back, inshallah, we'll also give you a wazifa for this as well, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I just want to get an istikhara. The name is, mother's name is, okay, Ji Dil Bhai. Back to you.
Yes, for bravery. I'll give the bravery one first. If somebody wants to become a brave, so it's very beautiful wazifa after every salah, after every namaz. Just put your right hand on the heart and read with the Durood Sharif before and after Ya Fattahu 7 times. Ya Fattahu 7 times. Hopefully with that, inshallah, you will become a brave as well.
Subhanallah. So after each salah, hand on the heart, Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattahu, 7 times. Durood Sharif before and after. And then we need to blow on the heart, or
don't need to blow it.
No, just read and that's sufficient. Okay. Subhanallah. Those of you who want to become brave, mashallah, after each salah. So remember, you need to read your salah. So after each salah, place your hand on the heart and Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattahu, Ya Fattahu, 7 times. Durood Sharif before and after. And inshallah, you will become brave. Like a lion, Adil bhai?
Inshallah.
Another question which was asked to the Muftiyan Iram. Okay, digging up old graves to bury the newly deceased. Okay, question. What do the honorable scholars say about this issue? I am a grave digger and I deal with many people who want graves made. Some ask me to dig a grave near one of their deceased family members or friends. I try to respect their wishes where possible. There are times in which there is no space or not enough space near a grave to dig another entire grave. When this happens, they say that a certain grave is old and its inhabitant no longer physically remains therein. They then ask me to dig a new grave on the site of the old. If space is present, but not large enough to dig an entirely new grave, they ask me to take the remaining necessary space needed to dig a new one from the parameters of the old one. In short, they demand for me to dig up an old grave. Am I allowed to dig up an old grave on their behest? And the answer I think we'll give you after we've had the wazifa of the day. So we've come to that point. I think it's just seconds, Adil Bhai. So we've come to that that part of the program now where we have the wazifa of the day. So over to our Adil Bhai, inshallah.
Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Dear viewers of Madani Channels, you're watching Spiritual Cures, and today's spiritual cure is very beautiful invocation to become a wealthy within a year. Who wants to become a wealthy? They need to obviously recite this one. Whoever recite Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim 300 times and Salatul Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam 300 times. At sunrise, Allah Azza wa Jal will grant him sustenance from somewhere that he had never even imagined. And if recite daily, he will become rich and prosperous within a year. Subhanallah. Just 300 times Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim and 300 times Durood Pak, any Durood Pak. So hopefully with that, inshallah, you become a rich. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Subhanallah, subhanallah, mashallah. So those of you who want to become millionaires, subhanallah, beautiful wazifa. So the wazifa of the day was how to become wealthy. So mashallah, Adil Bhai has given us the key to richness. Key to wealth. So mashallah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim 300 times, Durood Sharif 300 times. Does this need to be recited before and after? Or?
No, that's separate.
Oh, so that's separate. Okay, so you can recite Durood Sharif once before you start reciting Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then the 300 times Durood Sharif that you've read, then recite one more Durood Sharif at the end. So you've enveloped the wazifa with the Durood Pak. Subhanallah. And Allah Azza wa Jal will grant you sustenance from the unseen. Somewhere where a person cannot imagine. Yeah. Subhanallah. MashaAllah. So those of you who want to become rich, do take a picture from the screen. It's on the screen now. And you can pass this on, share it with family and friends as well, inshallah.
Subhanallah.
The people could start imagining, thinking, okay, so I'm get rich in a year. They might start planning to make a shopping list of all the things that they want to buy. But inshallah, if Allah wills, then you will become wealthy, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So we'll just move on to the reply of this question regarding the grave digger, whether he can dig the old grave upon request. So let's have a look at the answer, what the Muftiyan Ikram have given in regards to this. Answer: digging up the grave of a Muslim without a valid reason is impermissible and sinful, regardless of the age of the grave. The reason for this is that it entails disrespect and belittlement of the deceased, which is forbidden. Burial near one's deceased family members is not a necessity, and so forbidden actions are not permitted to facilitate this. Therefore, in this case, people making demands in this manner, as well as you acting on them, is impermissible, i.e. it's not allowed.
Regarding head issue, scalps obviously have itchiness and problems. This wazifa is for hair loss as well. Very beautiful. With the wuzu, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, and then recite Surah Al-Layl 41 times, and blow away on the sarson ka tel, oil of sarson or nariyal, coconut oil. Coconut oil, and blow on that and keep it. Whenever you go ready to obviously go in the bed, just massage your head properly with the oil, and hopefully with that, inshallah, whatever is problem with the head or hair loss, hopefully everything will be clear, inshallah.
Subhanallah, subhanallah. So itchy scalp and itchy head, a lot of the times it could be, there are certain illnesses you could do consult your doctor as well and see what they advise you. Sometimes it could be like some kind of spot, so do have your head checked out as well. See what the medical advice that you get from your GP as well, and also act upon the spiritual cure as well. So it can be, some of the causes of itchy scalp, dandruff as well.
Dandruff.
So if somebody's suffering from dandruff, like dry skin in the head, and it doesn't get treated, then it does get worse. And alhamdulillah, this spiritual cure, which is done upon the oil, Surah Layl 41 times with Durood Sharif before and after, performing dam upon the oil, whether coconut oil or you can use mustard oil.
Mustard oil.
Yeah, I got that right? Wild guess. Okay. So mustard oil or coconut oil. So recite Surah Layl, Durood Sharif before and after, perform dam upon coconut oil or mustard oil, and then before you go to bed, have it massaged into your head. And what this will do will moisten.
Inshallah.
Because of the dryness, that's the reason. The itchiness is there due to the dryness, which logically it makes sense as well. So when you massage the oil, it'll moisten and it will nourish, you can say, the scalp, inshallah. And then that, inshallah, will also be beneficial and save you from this itchiness and this dryness, inshallah. A lot of our youngsters avoid, I know because I've got youngsters at home as well, and a lot of our youngsters, they tend to avoid using oil. I don't know why. And yet, because look at everything needs some kind, even like skin, can become dry. When there's a lot of hot and dry weather, skin becomes dry. So you need to use like you use moisturizer for the skin to moisturize it because it's getting dry. In the same way, the head, and yet those who've got like hair and it doesn't get nourished, then it's going to be dry, and these kind of problems will increase. So a message to the youngsters: do use oil. It needs your head, because your hair, the roots need moisturizing. They need some treatment to strengthen them. So this oil does all these works. So you are actually strengthening your hair. So these moisturizing, using oil in your head will actually save you from that hair fall later on in life. Or some of you might already be nowadays, as because chemicals are being used, hair loss or hair falling out starting earlier now, a lot earlier ages. So advice for the youngsters: do use oil, don't try to avoid it, and it'll help for later on in life as well. Another message: Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you are well. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen ala kulli hal. Likewise, we hope that you are well too. I've got a question. What do you have to do with worn out and ripped Quranic text and Quran? So because these, so it's those Qurans which they've become torn or etc. you can't dispose of this. I've heard about this before, Dilbhai, and I think it's important to mention. Some people, I don't know why, but you know, like we have the bins outside. We have the normal rubbish bin and you have the recycle bin. Now, somebody told me this about somebody, that they even dispose of their muqaddas oraq. You know, those fragments of, you know, of papers of some religious text, etc., and they even put them into the recycle. And that is a no-go area. That is a no-go area. Basically, anything muqaddas, and here obviously the question the brothers asked regarding some Quranic texts and Quran. So these are muqaddas, and alhamdulillah, your Dawat Islami also does this. We have had some episodes where we've done this here in the UK as well, alhamdulillah. So there's two ways that you're able to make these muqaddas papers, these sacred papers, shaheed. One is either by burying, but when you bury, it needs to be buried somewhere where it's not an area that's not going to get disrespected. So like a grave, you can imagine. So I know the previous occasion where we did here in the UK, where we bury them into the graveyard, and it's like some piece of land where it's out of the way, and they dig a very big, like a grave, and then the muqaddas oraq and the torn Quran, etc., these religious papers and fragments are then buried there. So one is burial, and the second, which we're not able to do here, but in Pakistan they do, is where they make them into like bundles, and then have something heavy with them, and you go into like the middle of the river or ocean or etc., somewhere where there's deep waters, and then the heavy stone will take it to the bed. Bottom. So you'll go to the bottom, and then the ink will, because remember that water in such large amount is pure water, and then so the ink will be washed away, inshallah, and it will become shaheed in that way. So don't do what I just mentioned. I heard in our neighborhood that somebody had done this, and I thought that was really, really bad. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please, would you do istikhara for, and the code name is Al-Madad Ya Ghaus. Al-Madad Ya Ghaus. Inshallah, I'll send this forward onto the majlis, and inshallah, when the istikhara reply comes back, then we will mention this to yourself. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. They require istikhara. Code name is Bismillah. Inshallah, I'll forward this on, inshallah azza wa jal. And once the istikhara is done, we will mention it to you, inshallah, mentioning your code name. Ji. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So we'll start with the istikhara replies, inshallah. So the first istikhara reply. Okay, so this istikhara, the code name is Rabi'un Noor. So this istikhara reply is for yourself. I think there was two istikharas which were mentioned in this. I'll just make sure, yes, there were two istikharas. So code name is Rabi'un Noor. This istikhara reply is for yourself. There was two istikharas, and the reply for both of them is an indication of illness. So the istikhara reply is an indication of illness for both of your istikharas. Adil Bhai, if you can just make a note, if you can have a spiritual cure for illness in general, inshallah. We'll mention this as soon as Adil Bhai takes something out, inshallah. So we'll give you a spiritual cure for illness, inshallah. But the reply for your istikhara was of illness. The next istikhara reply that we have received is code word flower 65. Flower 65, the istikhara reply, and here there is also, it mentions azmaish. So it was istikhara for two people. So the istikhara reply is an indication of azmaish for both, i.e. a test for both. Inshallah, Adil Bhai, if you can have a wazifa for azmaish as well. So we've got one for illness that I'm due from yourself, and one for azmaish, a test. Okay, so whatever problems that they are facing, it's a means of a test. Inshallah, Allah will grant them patience throughout this testing period, and may Allah will bring this testing period to an end soon, inshallah. So we'll give you a spiritual cure, inshallah, soon. So if you can pass this on to the family members, and inshallah, if they put this into practice, may Allah will bring this test to an end soon. Okay, and this istikhara reply is for Madani 22. So Madani 22, if that was your code name, then this istikhara reply is for yourself. So in the istikhara reply, there's no indication of evil eye, etc. So the istikhara has come back clear. So there's no indication of any signs of interference, of jinnat, etc., of magic, evil eye, etc. So the istikhara is clear. And can we have a spiritual cure for this problem, Adil bhai?
Yes, Abdullah.
Ji. Okay, yeah, because they actually requested for istikhara and also a spiritual cure in regards to this as well. So basically, this, have you seen the istikhara? Basically, it's they're looking for a pious spouse for their son, inshallah. So for pious spouse, spiritual cure for a pious spouse. I'm sure there'll be many other viewers out there who are looking for a pious spouse. So this will benefit those other viewers as well, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Next istikhara reply, code name. Okay, so this is that istikhara reply which came without a code name. Okay, so basically domestic dispute. So this particular message came through in regards to husband and wife, domestic disputes. May Allah grant peace and harmony in their household. You didn't send a code name, so if you know that you didn't send a code name, so this will be a hint to yourself that this istikhara reply, and it's of this nature, your question was, so this istikhara reply is for yourself. The reply has come back as azmaish, as a test from Allah Azza wa Jal. So there's no interference of any kind or anything like that. So there's no magic or anything that anybody's done. So the istikhara reply has come back as a sign of azmaish. So this reply for this istikhara reply is for code name Al-Madad Ya Ghaus. So if code name Al-Madad Ya Ghaus was your code name, then this istikhara reply is for yourself. And the istikhara reply has come back as a sign of illness. Okay, sign of illness. Alhamdulillah, istikhara office in the UK is open 7 days, Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. till 10 p.m. and on Sunday from 2 p.m. till 10 p.m. All you need to do is simply pick up the phone, inshallah Azza wa Jal, and the brothers are there to serve you, inshallah, with your istikhara replies, inshallah. The phone number I'll just mention, 01274 733 578. I nearly had to think about that one. I haven't mentioned it, but 01274 733 578. 01274 733 578. So remember, we're open 7 days. Remember that Islamic sisters don't call on this number. Do get a male family, a male person from your household to ring for you. And if in that instance where you don't have anybody present, then not to worry, alhamdulillah, we have a service which helps those single parents as well, alhamdulillah. So take a note of this number if you haven't already got this. It's 07535 155 711. That's 07535 155 711. I'll repeat it once more, 07535 155 711. And this is an istikhara WhatsApp number in the UK. So those of you who require any spiritual cure, or if you require an istikhara, and especially for the Islamic sisters, or if you require ta'wizat, and you want them posting, for example, Islamic sisters, and they haven't got anybody to come to any Ruhani Ilaj stall, then you can send a message. Remember, don't try to call this number because it is a WhatsApp only number, so nobody will answer. Send in your message with your request, and inshallah Azza wa Jal, all the replies are done daily, so nothing will be pending. Remember, we do close at 10 p.m. so if you do send a message in after 10 p.m. then it will be answered the following morning, inshallah Azza wa Jal. So do take advantage of these services, alhamdulillah, that Dawat Islami is providing for you free of cost, alhamdulillah. Ji Adil Bhai.
Ji, labbaik. Regarding illness, I said, if the obviously when we do the istihara, sometime it comes as azmaish and illness. So illness, regarding illness, ya salamu, ya salamu, ya salamu. Whilst walking, talking, sit down, just keep reading ya salamu. Hopefully with that as well, inshallah, illness will clear. If the kids are ill, then obviously mother can read it 111 times before and after through the park and blow on the water and give it to the kids. Hopefully with that, inshallah, their illness will be clear.
MashaAllah. Jazakallah for that. Did you get one for the
regarding azmaish test? Regarding any type of test or azmaish, or persons obviously get quite a lot of difficulties as well sometime in the life. Ya Samiyu, 100 times. Whoever recites 100 times daily without talking and then makes dua, he will attain whatever was asked for from Allah. So just Ya Samiyu 100 times daily.
Subhanallah, mashallah. We are coming to the end of the program, so if you do miss out, remember I've given you the contact numbers for the istikhara services. Unfortunately, we've come to the end of our time, and I think we don't want to chip into the time of the next program. So take care of yourselves, and we will see you all being well, inshallah, next week only on Madani Channel. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from. May Allah heal you from whatever pain you are suffering from.